just get started. My name is Seamus O'Reilly. This afternoon, I'm just going to be talking to Renaat Vandepapeliere. Is that good? I don't think I got that right. When we just talked a few minutes ago, or maybe about half an hour ago, you were thinking about going to the Titanic Museum. Did you make it?
No, I'm gonna go.
I did wonder.
When this is finished, I'm gonna go.
I was worried if you'd make it back in time.
See if I can have some glimpse of the sinking ship.
It's a weird thing that we're proud of it. But it also brings me to something I'd read. You said that in all the years that you were running an RNS, you only ever had one holiday. Is that still true? Have you managed to have...
No, I think no, it's different. My entire life is a holiday. Maybe I worked one day when I was, putting the grass off at home and I hated it. But that's basically it. So my entire life is a holiday.
Did you ever have a day job?
Sorry?
Did you ever have a day job or a 9 to 5 that you hated, that you were pushed against?
Oh yeah, I was a hairdresser when I was 19 and I worked at a store when I was 17, putting parts of cars. But I hated working, Nothing for me.
Well, I suppose we can kind of bite into that from RNS's point of view. Obviously, it's a very storied label, has been going for a very long time, very prestigious. You've spoken in the past about how you were kind of reacting to a sort of boredom that you had in Ghent, that you weren't seeing that there was an outlet for the kind of music that you liked, that you were into. Can you tell us what the scene was like before you came along?
Before we go on, you're Irish. Go a little bit slower. or I'm going to use my accent.
Well, I've already mastered your
And then we have a battle going on. Okay, go again. So
back to the start of RNS. I mean,
yes.
What was it like beforehand? What were you reacting against in Ghent? What was it that you didn't have?
Okay, we go back in when my pet was a dinosaur. Fred Flintstone walking his dinosaur. And again, as it is now, I would say, because now I see similarities, majors, American import, dominating everything. And, clubs not open enough to, try to do something else, or DJs doing something else. So that was sort of where I didn't agree, especially Belgium, which is a very eclectic country. We're in the middle, so we're very close to information. Most of great American imports were copied, or, they made a cover. Some local shops were making covers, very cheap covers to make a bigger profit when a record was working, and I hated it because most of those covers or remixes still to today are fucking bullshit and unnecessary. Total sound pollution.
So you wanted to get those original tracks and license?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's quite important when. If you look at the painting of Dali, you don't want to have a copy from you, well, because it's the same thing. So for me, it's very important that you support the original artist and his work and what he's trying to say.
Didn't you say that actually once happened with, was it the Human Resources track that you said was a kind of a rip-off of a Joey Beltram track, and that you then signed it so that they were...
That I don't know. Maybe if I would have said it, I must have been very stoned or drunk or whatever. I've said so many stupid things in my life. So, you shouldn't believe everything.
So whenever you did get started, how quickly did things take off? Were people receptive to what you were doing that was new, bringing techno and doing...
No, they still don't. And it's their problem, it's not my problem.
I don't think that's true.
No, well, no, I'm exaggerating. We always tried, for myself, to keep it for myself very interesting, because, taste, color is very subjective. What is good, what is bad. That's a debate that can go on, till Jesus Christ comes back and have dinner with us, that we actually gonna see him. So that's never gonna happen. But for me to keep it interesting, it's like confronting or to try to find things that are out of the comfort zone in time and place. And because I always say, life starts out of your comfort zone. And that's basically it. I don't think, it's very easy to look back at the history, and yes, we had some successes and we released some really crap, stupid records also. So I'm not scared to make mistakes, but it's looking for that new sort of, I don't know, the X Factor when you played, Or, you know, when an artist, you know, when I remember when I received the tapes from Richard, you know, he came to my house, Aphex Twin. Everybody thought I was mad because I liked it. This is crazy. You're gonna destroy R&S records. And I say, you know, you can fuck off.
Was it right? Was it really a bag of tapes?
Sorry?
Was
Yeah. He came with a box of cassettes, and we were listening, and that's how it's been released and mastered from the cassettes. But you know, just saying, you know, everybody, even I can, you know, he's dead now, and it's. I remember when I was at Midem, you know, so many years ago, when even Warp said, you know, this is crap music, and if you would now take Richard away from Warp, Warp would be broke. You know. So, you know, it's what I'm trying to say. It's very, you can look back and history will define what it was or what it meant in time. But I didn't know. It was confronting and said, let's do this. I mean, this is madness.
Well, you said you don't get nervous. It's just wasted energy. You said that.
Getting nervous is a waste of energy, yeah. Being negative is a waste of energy too. So I have no time for that.
Fair enough. Well, how do you, I mean, there's also things that piss you off though, musically or otherwise. You're upfront about stuff that you don't like as well. You're not.
Oh, absolutely.
You're not sort of.
Yeah, because everybody is so polite. You know, they like it. You know, it's so nice. It's so nice. No, it's crap. You know, you have to have the balls to say it because you know, look at the press today. You know, in when I was young, so 5 years ago. So now I'm old. We had Enemy and we had really dominant press. You know, Enemy was really hardcore, and I loved that. They would slam your record down. I mean, you would, I don't know, you would crawl in a hole like out of shame. But now, you know, every record is good. Everybody's a legend. Everybody is great. Everybody, it's nonsense. Yeah. We have 5 million DJs on the planet now, and maybe we have 50 good ones, and the rest is just fucking hamburgers. You know, you know. Same with producers.
Well, it's also the fact that DJ now is so lucrative that a lot of producers become DJs and just never.
That's nonsense. A DJ is a DJ and a producer is a producer, and seldom they come together.
Yeah, they're non-overlapping magisteria kind of thing.
So now everybody's a DJ, everybody's a producer, everybody's a writer, everybody's a filmmaker, everybody's a model. I mean, everybody is so beautiful. The world is so incredible. You know, we live in very exciting times of, I mean, amazing talent. and I disagree.
Well, also because so many people are doing so much stuff, do you get paralyzed with the choice? I mean, you could listen, you know, to just grime podcasts all day, every day, and still not feel like an expert. You know, hip hop, anything, pick any genre. I mean, how, from an A&R perspective, do you react to this?
First of all, I'm not an A&R. I have a problem with that word, and the world too sometimes. I listen to everything. You know, I listen to classical music, I listen to jazz, I listen to, as much as possible, I try to, you know, listen to specialized programs on radio, although general radio is very lame. You know, it's poison to our society, basically. So you have to go to podcasts, really, you know, young kids doing something, and then you find interesting things. Of course, it does take time. And for me, it's all about instinct, what does grab me. Doesn't mean I'm right, maybe I have an extremely bad taste, that's very possible, but then again, it's my problem. So, but I try to stay, I try to do hip-hop, and I try to do 2 Irish rock bands, and I lost my house, my car, my dogs, you know, they took it all. So the lesson is that I'm gonna stay away from what I really not geared up to do. That's for somebody else to do. So, although I like it, and you know, I'll buy that stuff. I buy hip hop, I buy classical, I buy jazz till today. My heart is still with dance music. I really love or electronica and all these, you know, subcultures, you know, from drum and bass to whatever. And yeah, I keep an open mind to music, basically.
Yeah, and there's crossover as well. I think the Niels from Non-Keen.
Niels, I mean, I've said it last week in Ibiza, and I think they were shocked or not, I don't know, because they were paralyzed. But for me, there's now today two great, amazing artists, which is Niels and Nicolas Jarre. I mean, these are real artists with an A. It's not, I'm not going to name names, but XXX, those guys are fucking incredible.
Yeah, the Sirens album is just spectacular.
Yeah, but you know, everything what this guy does, and it's not only that, because now, and thank God, you know, we're back into a single market, so albums don't make any sense unless you are a Nils or a Nicholas, and there are others too, or John Hopkins, you know, I can but I don't think many producers within electronic are strong enough to make an album. You know, that they would, and this is an advice, you know, go EP by EP, but, you know, the focus will be much more direct to the consumer. But what is very important, those guys really deliver live. And I believe them. I really believe them, because most of the nonsense I see right now, I don't believe. You know, I'm looking at plastic, whether it's a DJ or live, I'm looking at plastic, okay? You know, record company X or maybe whatever, you know, this is what you have to do, you know, stay within the parameters, and that's okay. So, and this is something I don't like. You know, I grew up with, you know, Jimi Hendrix, Dave Brubeck, you know, Che Guevara, you know, not really, you know, those were kind of really cool guys. You know, so Led Zeppelin, the Stones, you know, this is my education, you know, this was this like, fuck you, I'm gonna do what I want. And this is what's been missing right now. We live, you know, the last 10 years in a culture where everybody's very safe behind his Facebook, social media, you know, everybody has an opinion, but, you know, in front of the computer, you know, I can write whatever I want without being scared to be slapped or shot. So, you know, and everybody's, you know, walking like this, so there is no communication anymore. I mean, it's weird, of course, I have to adapt. But I'm not nostalgic, but if it comes to those guys in music, I love it. I really love attitude. You know, a little bit, you know.
Does it also democratize music, though? If it's easier, as you're saying, to do these things,
yeah,
it also means that more people can.
That's all a good thing, because it's, you know, the technology is available, and also, you know, platforms as Bandcamp or SoundCloud or I like that, so people can put their music out. It's fantastic. So you really have to dig to find something interesting, because mediocre has become the norm. There's so much music out there which my cat could have made.
Fair enough. I want to meet your cat. I
suppose or a dog, or whatever, or a monkey.
That was very nice that you kind of made it equal opportunities there at the end. We're speaking obviously in Belfast. I'm from Northern Ireland. I suppose a lot of people here are. Ghent is not exactly a world musical centre, nor.
No, it is the musical centre.
But what I'm saying,
no, joking.
But what I'm saying is, obviously we live in places where you've got London, New York, you've got LA, you've got Berlin, very, very specific scenes. How does a smaller place or somewhere where people do not know as much about that place, how did it have an RNS? How does it like launch itself in that way? I mean, was it tough for you guys?
No.
Fair enough. Okay, next question. Not at all?
Nope.
You didn't get any sort of a condescension from the London crowd or the Berlin crowd?
Nope.
Okay, because we do.
Oh, poor guys. Maybe I should move over to Belfast.
Yeah, maybe they'd like us more. So you didn't actually encounter any difficulty or from other places that maybe had more of a sort of a sniffy, sort of cheeky attitude?
No.
Well, that's good. That's fair enough.
I mean, you could say yes, but every problem has a solution, so.
That's fair enough.
So I'm always going the part of the solution, never the problem.
Okay, I'm going to go and start a record label in Micronesia. So
I can give you my medicine, what I'm using every day.
I'll sign your dog. So you've talked about how things have changed. Another thing, you don't hark back, which actually is very refreshing. You don't hark back to that sort of glorious era where everyone was doing albums.
Nope.
So you like the idea that things are more more single oriented, or I mean, it's hard to kind of pick apart exactly what.
Again, not everybody, whether it's the past or today, has a power to make an album, and an album is serious work. And to make an album very interesting, I mean, you need some serious talent there. Plus, I mean, you don't make an album. I have guys, They call me in the morning, and it's, you know, before I can go to lunch, their album is finished. And I'm like, "Oh, really?" Yeah, hold on, my album is finished. Like, fuck. So I don't believe that. So it needs a special person to make an album. You know, Niels worked maybe a year or a year and a half on an album. I know he's working on the album which is going to come out next year for the last 2 years now. So they think about it, and so in order to grow, what I always say also, you know, to young producers, you know, they want everything to be out and released, and it's normal. They don't have any patience. But you know, you don't forget your time in the studio, and making is your way to become, or to come to that highlight of track that will be good, again, subjective, or maybe you will, you know, the way to it's the traveling. So not everything should be released. So right now, you know, again, I think the single market is good. We're back in the Middle Ages where, you know, classical music would be, you know, experienced. People have to go out in an amphitheater or something, or, you know, in the King's Palace. So we're back at that time, and that's a progression I really like, because this is where you have to make a difference. This is where you cannot lie. You know, on stage is where people will feel, will see, you know, what you got. And I think this is a very interesting progression right now. So young artists, I mean, it's tougher for you, I know. Much tougher. But
It's easier in some ways as well.
I don't know if it's easier.
Yeah, neither do I. I'm just saying it.
I know.
You mentioned there about like Niels and how he approaches making an album, or Nicholas Shar or whoever else. So these people come to you with their work, and are they still coming to your home?
These are very good friends. Although, you know, the last Nicholas came to my house, and, you know, on the last album, you know, he was playing you know, he did a gig, and then he came to my house, you know, and we were up to 7 in the morning, and he was playing me the rough demos of the last album. And you know, most of it I liked, and then I told him also, Nicholas, man, fucking delete that shit right now. It's embarrassing, you know. And he did. He did. On the spot. Deleted, over.
Oh my God.
But yeah, he's a nice guy. You know, I saw, there's 2 concerts that, unfortunately, don't get me wrong, I cannot see everybody, every DJ or every concert. That's impossible, of course, or I think. But Niels and Nicholas blew me away live. I mean, I saw Nicholas, if you still have the chance, youngsters, because they're all youngsters here, try to catch him. Because it's unbelievable. The first hour is totally improvisation, and it's the first time that I saw, this is Miles Davis going. I was in New York, projected Miles Davis, you know, so he was playing, you know, saxophone and, you know, different instruments, you know, together with electronic. It was so wild. Because I called them the day after, man, like, is this recorded? Because this is what should be out.
I mean, would he then give you that stuff? Are you always looking to kind of...
I told him if he's not going to make an album for me, he's not going to live very long.
Well, the way that you've described in the past, that sitting room in your home, I don't know if it's still the same setup, where people would come in, they would play you their
No.
stuff.
I'm too old for that shit now.
Oh. Have you retired the sitting room studio?
Well, you know, I lived my life with people on the floor in my living room, making music, you know, sleeping in my bed, nearly, you know, next to Sabine. So try to have sex with your own wife, you know, when you have like old producers around you, like, hey, hold on, you know, man, maybe we should cue that. Or so, you know, I've done 15 years of that, enough. So, no. On my own, Sabine, we run everything as 2 old people. From Skype, we're using modern technology.
Yeah. Well, it seems like you were running sort of like a techno B&B almost. It was, you know, the way you had people come in and would stay there and would make...
There was more than that, man. It was a hotel, because Sabine was feeding them. And in B&B, you have to get your own food, you know? So she was feeding him, and I remember when Joey came first from America, you know, she was making him vegetables and Belgian chocolate. We're famous for our chocolate, and he didn't like it, man. He wanted to have some synthetic chocolate. And it was a beautiful meal and a good steak. And he said, no, McDonald's. Oh, okay, fine, McDonald's.
So that was
no, it's a true story.
Joey Beltram and this would have been in the late 80s? Or
that was 89, something, yeah.
So that would have been around the sort of Energy Flash and Mentos.
It was made in my apartment. Joey, that's cool.
So it was literally made in your apartment? live. It wasn't like a tape that he brought over.
No, no, no. I had my studio in my apartment. My apartment was 20 square meters. 15 square meters were equipment, and then we had to do like this to move around the equipment. And then all those guys, and then stepping over Joey and bags. Get out of my bath. I need a shower. Things like that.
And did that happen often that you'd have people come over without any? Well, he obviously had a plan, but who would
No, I have no
cut
plan.
it there?
Sorry?
They would actually cut it in the studio. Sort of, they make
A lot of things were made there, yeah.
What was that process like? What happened if they did it and it just didn't work out? It wasn't very good. Just
I kicked them
fight
out.
without dinner.
Get a job.
I mean, I just
The first thing was no more water, no more food. I was like, I'm kind of hungry. And Sibby's, fuck off, man. Like,
make a hit.
Yeah, that costs money.
And then, of course, the other angle would be people that you would get in contact with. I think people who you would like hear a track. Like I think you mentioned.
Contact everybody. I contact. I still do. I'm a stalker.
For the Derek May release, was it? It is what it is. Is that?
It is what it is. Was the first track that really blew me away because I'm jazz soul fan. Yeah.
And you just got on the phone to him. Did you have any point of contact before that?
But in the old days you had white labels coming in. And the phone numbers were on the white label. Contact me there.
Oh, and
so I called. I bought the record. Phone number. Hi, this is Derek. I say, get your ass over here. Here's a plane ticket, and it all happened.
Wow. It just seems very romantic to me. The idea.
Romantic.
It does. I think it's easy for us to look at it and see. I know Dave Clark, aged like 17 or something, over there doing it, and it seems so different.
That was funny.
Loads of people in their bedrooms just kind of sending stuff off to thousands.
I mean,
of different
there are more stories than that, but let's keep it. Let's keep it nice for today.
I think we talk also about it being sort of party music and particularly having like a live events, but we're also speaking at an industry event that obviously has it's almost got an academic focus. Has the growing respectability or acceptedness of techno and dance music, has that made your job any different?
Translate, please. Sorry.
Has techno's become more accepted and more respectable?
Do I you know that as well as I do.
Yeah.
Give me an interesting question. Jesus Christ.
Definitely
Is techno being expected,
Well, the other one I had, which is kind of sped on.
Maybe we can start talking about UFOs.
UFOs, yes, that's right. Well, we could ask about your opinion of Jeff Mills' opinions of UFOs.
Oh, it's nonsense.
I wanted to say,
and all those things like, statements like, techno was made for, futuristic music. It's nonsense. It's disco of the 21st century. End of story. Point. All the rest is blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. It's like Jeff made his first record to communicate with E.T. I mean, come on. Nobody makes records for only his mother, his dog, and his monkey. You want people to dance. You want people to be, this is why you are now an artist. So listen, I wish, because I thought I would be here with Jeff and Left Field. But now I'm alone. Maybe they're scared of me. I don't know.
They ran away screaming.
They ran away. Where are they? Let's run after them.
So do you feel the same about any...
Let's do this all together. Let's hire a bus and let's find him. Let's have a serious debate about UFOs, E.T., and futuristic music.
Can we convene that panel? Can someone get that?
Sorry?
I'll see if we can convene the panel later on.
Yeah.
So does that
I would like to have a chat with him.
About UFOs?
About UFOs.
I don't know if you'd agree with him very much.
I don't care.
Does that apply to all music that has a message or is political or even has anything else? Or concept albums, like concept albums?
Oh, man, I hate that word. Concept albums. Wow. No, sorry, man.
Well, you mentioned Led Zeppelin.
I can show you my computer. I have these guys, because, they think with RNS I'm mad, and I am mad. Renaat, I have these concept albums and this video. And like, really? What are you trying to tell me? And it's, those guys should make movies or write books, I think. But not music, concept. What is this?
Well, you took time off. You took a time off between 2000 and 2006. And
I was so bored with it.
And so you became a horseman?
Yeah,
I think that's the technical term.
I wanted to follow up the horse whisperer.
So what did you do? What did you do in those 6 years?
Breeding horses. Nothing, not even listening to music. You know, waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning. We had 26 horses.
You had 26 horses?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize you had that many.
Well, 26.
And that was your life for 6 years. You say you didn't
It
listen to
was
music?
wonderful. My hair was still here. You know, I was wearing, you know, the same jeans for 7 years. And even my underwear was like, you know, I was a real farmer. It was fantastic.
So why? You just bored? You were just done with it?
Yeah, I was bored with the industry, and you know, there was the beginning of this whole celeb, you know, culture of DJs coming with bodyguards and, you know, limos, and I was like, huh? What did I miss? And yeah, I understand Bono or, you know, those guys. DJ, excuse me.
The sort of superstar DJ, 90s kind of excess.
Still hate
kind
it,
of thing.
and that's why I'm in the battle again. I started playing to clean up. I'm so fed up with this nonsense.
And so that's when you came back in 2006. And
No, it was something, I don't know. I was, because the guys that worked for us for 20 years, you know, from the London office came to the farm and you should start again. I said, no, look at the horses, you know, I'm easy, barbecue, man, everybody leaves me alone. I don't have to listen to all those managers nonsense. I have the hit, this is the biggest artist. And, you know, when you tell those managers, like, put your money on the table, man, like, oh, you know, then they back off. Then,
well, I do like the idea of like Joey Beltram coming to the horse barn and having to make a track there, though. That would be
yeah,
quite nice.
Derek was there seeing Bird.
Was he?
Oh, yeah, and he was shocked.
Why? What shocked him?
I mean, it's giving birth is quite intense, whether it's human or animal. It's very beautiful. So you know.
So he's watching the foals.
Yeah, you know, guys from New York or Detroit. I mean, I'm telling you, if they see chicken, they're scared. They are. You have to calm them down. It's like, it's okay. It's chicken. So can you imagine a horse?
Yeah. Yeah, and they give birth standing up as well, don't they?
Sorry?
Do they give birth standing up?
No. Horse lays down.
Oh, okay.
Goes very comfortable. Yeah.
See, I wouldn't last very long at that.
No.
When
So,
you did
so this is about horses now.
it's about whatever you want. I could ask you that question about the acceptability of techno again. You did mention excess and superstar DJs, who of course we love and adore. There was a little bit of excess in RNS as well. I think even in some of your material it talks about Ferraris and private planes and Techno Island. Can you tell me what Techno Island was, or these people?
It was a very small garden like this with a crap house on it, and we called it Techno Island. So it's all in the fantasy. I had people coming over from England and Japan. And they thought, you know, I lived in a castle with my own airfield, everything. And the only thing they could see was a crap house and a bike.
But you had loads of gear there as well.
Sorry?
You had gear there as well. It was
Yeah, the studio gear, yeah. And I gave it away.
You give it all away?
I was so bored, the whole studio said, take it away. Right now. All for free. Which I regret. That's the only thing I regret.
Giving the stuff away?
Yeah, I could have made some money because I don't have any savings. And I lost my savings. No, it's true.
Really? So the horse game wasn't as lucrative as you thought?
Man, as they say, you know, horses and women, and you're out of pocket.
You did return in 2006. Some of my favorite records actually from that period, people like Pariah, that Orpheus, particularly. Was that stuff kind of catching your ear? Was it
Actually, that was the period that brought me back.
Yeah.
Especially Mala.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
2005, when I thought, okay, finally we have a new movement here.
The Burial and the whole that movement.
Burial. You know, he wrote a page again.
Yeah,
At that time, and this is what I try to find. You know, guys that are really writing everything again. New page, forget it. This is it. Burial, Mala. I mean, what was it? Code
9.
Code 9. All those guys. It was just wonderful to.
Yeah, it was new. It felt actually.
But it was fresh, and it was I don't know. Still love it though.
And you came back to doing the same, or was it completely different? Was it like bigger, smaller? I mean, how much like the old RNS was this new?
I mean, that's for you to decide. I don't know. I have no idea what I'm doing.
But I mean, from your point of view, was it the same office? Was it like the same thing? Did you come to it with a new approach, or was it just we'll just start off where we left off?
No, we didn't start where we left off. I think, I might hope, and if it's so, you can come, because then if that has been the case for the last 10 years, I'm gonna stop right now, because then I would have been a big loser, or been telling nonsense all over for the last 2 years, which is very possible. I think no, because what I dreamed of when I was younger was like a sort of Virgin real record company, very eclectic. Mute, another one,
Oh, yeah.
4AD, and one of my favorites, which they compare RNS with nowadays, which I think is a great compliment, because the guy was mad, was Factory.
Oh yeah,
Joy
Tony
Division,
Wilson. Yeah.
Tony Wilson. I met him once, what a guy. I don't know, I think you should see the documentary or the film about
Oh,
Tony
the
Wilson.
24-hour party people. It's spectacular.
Wow. So I can find myself in this whole thing. It was wild times, and so I think now, before that, before I stopped, we were a techno label, a dance label, and we were not allowed to take turns. And although we tried with Boom Boom Satellite, which was, it's still an amazing album. It's jazz, punk, electro. What an album! And other things. And it didn't work out. Now it does work out. So now I think probably, I don't know. Maybe they're gonna leave Granddad alone. It's okay, we will let him go. He will be, he passed his expiry date. He's gonna die soon. So I think we have much more freedom now.
You have to be more eclectic, and people don't judge as much.
Correct.
Yeah, well, I think as well, because people have a larger breadth of music that they can get so easily. I think people are more maybe open to other things. I mean, or is that just me being biased?
Yes, I would say yes, because I've always said, don't underestimate people. I mean, they're open. Don't underestimate youngsters. They're open to new things, and they are more eclectic than you think. Of course, if you're gonna have a child and you feed him with hamburgers till he's 18, and then you give him some vegetables when he's 19, you're gonna have a problem.
Joey Beltram.
Exactly. No, but I'm quite serious. And this is what we have from radio. This is what we have from promoters. This is what we have festivals. I mean, the lineups from 1940 till today are still the same, from Antarctica to New Zealand and back. It's always the same guys. It's always the format. Blah blah blah. And this is where RNS would like to help. And we're doing parties with youngsters that never played. And they're not really polluted in their mind of money. They're really collectors, And we give them play, man, like jump into the pool and go. And and of course they're nervous, but you hear the most amazing music.
Are there any young people like that you'd like to highlight? Or?
Highlight, yeah. The names are escaping me now. But I'll give you my email and I'll give you some tips. But I'm traveling the world. It's to look, those guys, because they're the future. It's not me. It's them. And for me, it's very important to give them a platform, because I think also a performer on any level, whether it's a songwriter or a DJ or just name it, needs to perform. He needs to be there. A DJ needs to feel the contact with that crowd, and that will feed him. That will feed him also with ideas. It's not only from a small room and not going out that you will progress. Some do. But I think, connecting with the crowd is very good, and this is where RNS wants to give the platform. Yeah, I really believe in our future, absolutely.
I mean, on that platform as well, from you seeing their music, presumably you get sent so much music that it's...
Yeah.
How on earth do you pick
No, but
through
it's a
it?
compliment. No. It's about divided between me, it's about 100 demos a day, and of course we go fast. Very fast, and maybe that's not always fair, but I believe, anyway, that we have a trained ear, which is also nonsense. So we will miss tracks, but it's a discipline within our office, on our team. We try to go through everything, and I reply mainly myself in a personal letter, which takes a lot of work. Because I don't want to have a standard letter. Hey, this is Arnett. Or listen to, okay, it's like God speaking. No, you're not good enough. So no, it's a personal letter. Keep in touch. Blah blah blah. So yeah.
You've also had sort of some of the people I saw recently that I wanted to talk about. People like Paula Temple, for example.
Right, yeah.
Like that sort of sort of almost harrowing techno, the real push.
Well, I think it's more than that. I think Pola comes from is very punk. Yeah, it's you know, hard and soft and whatever. It doesn't matter. If music has soul and funk, it's okay. And Paula is a sort of hybrid between punk. She has an attitude. No, she's a beautiful woman, but her music has an attitude. And you know, listen at Dead Fox. I mean, it's a vicious record. It's not.
It's not compromising.
No, it's not. Every DJ will play. He will be scared, and definitely not something where what you put on when your grandparents are going to visit you for coffee because they will die. So I like that. Again, it's attitude in record. Do I believe you in what you do? Or are you trying to be like Jeff Mills or Richard Hart? Or blah, 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 blah. Are you a copy, a bad Xerox copy of?
Yeah.
And that will pass. That I'm not going to play that game. But attitude, yeah. Whether I like it, yes or no, it's up to the public to decide whether they like something or not. It's not up to me.
Yeah, and then of course you're talking about the eclecticism, but you're going across the limit. You'll have people like Tale of Us, for example, who people wouldn't have ordinarily thought of as an RNS artist, perhaps, but who you're gonna have that eclecticism, which is different now.
0-1. So you want to talk about Tale of Us?
Well, I was just saying, in terms of, was there a time when you weren't as eclectic with RNS, where you did feel more like a sort of specifically streamlined, specifically unfree to do those things, to branch, to have a range?
No. It's always a moment, an instinct, go out and you decide. And yes, I will release records that will be discussed, or, you know, you mentioned Tale of Us, or, you know, trying to start a debate, because, you know, when we released Tale of Us, man, the mails I had, you know, it's finished with RNS, you know, fans, you cannot go anywhere, you know, it was...
I don't get that at all.
Sorry?
I don't get that at all.
Well, I mean, yeah, you have some hardcore fans. It's like, I don't know, the Beatles doing Rolling Stones covers. They will be, the Beatles will be smashed, if you know what I mean. So yeah, we were smashed left, right, and center. But in the meantime, people were talking about it. So it was good.
And it also shows that you're kind of got the courage of your convictions. If you like it, you like it.
That's the end of it.
I don't know what we're doing for time, where we are there with for questions or anything.
I mean, everybody is hungry and bored, man. Like, let's get the vodka. And some snacks.
Does anybody have any questions at all?
Where did the inspiration come for the logo?
That's a good one. First of all, from the horses, because, you know, as a young kid, I wanted to be a dressage rider, but. You know, it's cool to do that. And I come from a family of 9 kids. That was a no-go because my father had to buy a horse, etc. He said, come on, man. So that, of course, you know, as every man and, you know, boys and toys, I'm a petrol head. I love Ferrari for various reasons. And also, you know, the prancing horse is like standing, you know, show, you know, dance, don't be afraid, you know, stand up. Whatever you do, stand up and dance or whatever, you know, give an opinion. And also the colors have a meaning. The triangle is a sign of hope. The green, protection. The green is a sign of hope. The blue is the romantic moon of the night. And the dark is, of course, the night. So it all has a meaning. There is romance, there is night, there is... yeah, that's the logo.
That's a really good question. I should have asked that. Anyone else?
Tracks that I wish I would have signed.
Yeah, and also
that is a lot. From the old days, you know, Underworld, I would love have signed Underworld. I think that they were great. Left Field, you know, I wish I could have given a compliment. Burial, of course. My God, so much. Every second of the day, I'm like, man, I missed it. But then again, you know, there's only 12 months. I cannot release everything. And I think I'm also one of the only ones that are posting on social media tracks from other labels. I don't see any other label doing it. They're very, oh, this is my corner. And I try, hey, listen to this, listen to that, you know, check this label out. You know, I'm very open and very enthusiastic about new things, and I post non-stop what I think is interesting music from other labels. So I don't look in my corner only.
Do you ever find out that one of those amazing records that you really love, do you find out subsequently that they did send it to you and that it was missed, it went through the cracks?
I have one, I have one that I know. Maybe
Which was
can't remember because who was it again? It was not one of the guys from Manchester. Was it Siren? Very good track. When I say, man, why didn't you send it to me? And when I was looking, whilst I was writing it in my Facebook message, I saw he sent it to me like 3 months ago. And I'm like, oh, idiot. So, you know, it's non-stop, really non-stop. There is so much at the moment, if you dig, beautiful, interesting, fantastic music out there. You know, from listening music to electronic, you know, electronica to listen to dance music. It's unbelievable. I would even say better than in the 90s and whatever. Today, it's unreal, unreal.
he also asked your personal favorite track that you released. We're going to take a short break.
Yes, I don't know, man. I don't know. I have no idea. There are a couple, and I see camera there. If I say this, then all the other are going to be on my ass. And, you know, shut that thing off.
Well, we can play. If it occurs to you, we can go back to it. Anyone else have a question?
Do you reckon that there will be an appearance of real, solid, good music on mainstream media again, or is that day just past?
Good mainstream music.
Good music on, say, the likes of radio shows, or you have to rely on the internet from now on?
I think on anyway, to listen to all the official radio stations in the world is impossible. So I go on the net, I stream, I go to blogs, and yeah, I look at the more obscure radio stations to find interesting music. And but mainstream radio is so lame, so flat, no risk. You know, it's a format. They have to sell advertising or.
Do you think we could change that with real music and determination?
I tried for the last 30 years. I have given up.
Do you think it's been a complete downward curve? I mean, was it worse, getting worse in the 90s, worse than, I mean, when did it sort of collapse? Because even if it was John Peel or all those other things that would have been around.
Yeah, but we don't have a John Peel anymore.
Yeah, it seems
Okay,
like
we
they're
have
never
Marion
replaced.
Hobbs, of course, which
Yeah.
is, you know, which I do follow time to time. But she was on BBC One. Yeah, Marion Hobbs was on BBC One, and then she was moved to BBC Six.
Yeah.
Correct? And I was asking myself why. I mean, this is a very interesting program, and why do you program it so late, etc., etc. So I don't know. It's all about those. I don't know. How you say, you know, listeners and
focus groups and like.
and Excel files. You know, last week I was in Ibiza with all those majors, and it's the first time I heard the word skip rate on Spotify. You know, all that nonsense. So
Is that where people quantify how much people skip past
I
the
still
track?
don't know what it is, but I think it has something to do with skipping. So my answer is I'm not really hopeful in that perspective. But then again, you can start a radio station.
Yeah, you should do it. Yeah.
No, but I mean, there are kids, and you find blogs, but you have to look, and there you find really interesting programs on a level. Now, I discovered, what is it again? Opus, Ibiza, what is it, Global? No. No. Open Lab, which I now was listening the last 3 days. I was really mesmerized how many good tunes they are playing. I bought nearly for €150 on tracks the last 2 days by listening to. No, I'm not joking. Like wow. So you have to find alternatives into radio because the rest is pudding.
We had one over there.
Dude, I'm still a kid. I'm still the same. I haven't changed. Only I have gray hair. I move a little bit slower. Although, no, I still have the same enthusiasm. Nothing's changed at all. And this is what I'm trying to explain my wife too, but she does not agree always.
I think we might have time for one.
Okay.
You released Capricorn 50 Hertz.
Yes.
Yeah, I come from a small town in Northern Ireland, and we used to play that
Mm-hmm.
in the local nightclub
Mm-hmm.
when I was like 15. And obviously, Northern Ireland's a divided society, and the music, the traditional music, is different on both sides of the religious divide. So, so Protestant people like music that's from people called the orange bands, and 50 Hertz sounded like an orange band. So whenever they played it in the nightclub, the Catholics left the dance floor, and the Protestants continued to dance. And they used to pretend to throw a stick in the air like the orange band did. That's
So
how I related to your music when I was.
so I'm a Protestant.
It's a good song.
Actually, mission completed. You know, if we get all the Catholics away, and get religion out of this world, I mean, we wouldn't have any war, and we would have peace. So if this is what I can do before I die, I'm happy. That was interesting, you know.
Yeah, that was. I never heard that.
God damn.
Do you have one as well?
What's your view on like modern electronic music, like the whole EDM thing in the States compared to like?
Listen, I'm not here to judge. You know, what you like as a person is what you like is the best. You know, what I think is totally irrelevant. But do I like it personally? No, I think it's noise nonsense, you know. I mean, it's like somebody going with a big diary, you know, with an amp in his, you know, going to the fucking toilet. But having said that, I think it was very interesting that America started with that. And I have to say, like Skrillex, he was wild. You know, he changed something. Skrillex made some really good tracks. And then, of course, you have, which I'm not going to name. But what it did in America is that the generation after that is now looking for you know, other electronica.
Yeah, it's
So
antecedents.
it really helped us, you know, the intelligent crew.
I think with that, I can just thank Renaat very much and bring this to a close. Thanks everyone for coming
No
out.
problem. Thanks.